Things are about to get a little epic in here. Tobot v. Gigant v. Today on World of Stuff. Now, for those of you who haven't heard of Tobot, it is a, well, it's effectively giant super robots in Korea. And the toys are what, actually, if you want to be honest, a bit what would you expect if Cybertron engineering kept going and the movie line didn't succeed. Which is, I realize that's a bit of an odd comparison to make here, but honestly, that's Cybertron Prime's truck mode. A little more flattened and smaller, but it's a truck mode. The one thing. Oh yes, those are some nice ratchets, which we're going to get into later. And maybe. Okay, here we go. Here we go. That's more like it. And all three of these vehicles make one robot. Hence the name Gigant. Now, some of you are probably wondering, have a rough idea as to what scale this whole thing is. Well, here is Leader Class Slug. Here is the box for Gigant V. Yeah! Now, granted, there is a lot of space in that box, but come on, that makes such a beautiful presentation on its own, doesn't it? And yes, I did save the box just solely so I could do this, which is probably the only time I'm going to save a box to show just how immense it is. Now, some of you are probably wondering, how dare he invoke the name of Cybertron Transformers without doing a size comparison to some of the toys? Megatron, Leader Class, you're welcome. And, since we're on the topic, the ambulance and the police car, Cannonball. Still not doing it for you? And if that doesn't give you at least some idea, well, I can't help you. And remember, 3 vehicles, 1 robot. My oh my. Moving on to the transformation itself, we'll start by lifting these up here, like so, and removing the axe weapon. Appropriate for a fight or truck, isn't it? Okay. Then we will flip up these parts. Okay, that's as far out as it's going to go. Stand up. Separate for the shoulders. Oh, pull these in. Slide the legs out, which will automatically unclip these so you can fold these back. Yes, there is a bit of a lean there. There we go. Okay, then move on to the police car. Slide those parts out. Here we have the head. So now there are clips here and here, as well as on the back. These hold fairly well. I have yet to have anything major happen in terms of disassembly when holding it, but that's something that's only time can tell. Another point, to get the back clip, you have to get that part out. Then it'll clip solidly there. Here we have that going. Get that. Alright. Okay, there we are. Now take the ambulance, split it in half, and fold out. Now, one thing, caveat I will mention is that yes, this is clear plastic here, so I don't know how long if that has any longevity issues. Seems fairly thick, relatively speaking, but that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on in a few years. Okay, now these tabs right here, these slots right here, along with these bits, and you also have a bicep tab right there. So line these up, connect. Now, sometimes the instructions have you doing it the other way. Doing it like that and that bit. Of course, on camera, this doesn't want to do it. Right. There we go. But when you do get it in, it's fairly solid. Now, again, get this on camera. Back there. Tab in. And finally, and here we have Gigant V in robot mode. Oh yes, oh yes. One final step, when you separate the legs, there is ankle tilts, so you already have that going, and you have some lovely ratchets going there. And there we go, a little more epic stance for Gigant V here. And of course, the axe, which seems a little silly and small, but there's a reason for that, which we'll get into later with another review. Now, going back to Slug here, you really get an idea of what the size you're dealing with here. And remember, the Dinobots, the leader class ones, are not small figures. And this thing towers above it. How could you not be impressed by that? But some of you are still thinking, okay, but what about the robot mode comparisons? Well, Cannonball. Drop shot. And Megatron. Yep. And even in robot mode, while Megatron may have had to lead a bit in the vehicle mode, Gigant V is at least even about to here on his horns, and he's still taller and significantly wider. Yeah. Finally, we have the articulation where, well, the bits and pieces are going to be a sticking point. That's just kind of how it is. Head is on a ball joint. You can get a decent amount of articulation. The arms are kind of interesting. Ratcheted shoulder joint. Ratcheted in and out, but it's rather limited because of, well, the nature of the beast. Double, let's see now. Simple elbow, and nothing for the wrist. Nothing for the waist either. But you do have universal joints with heavy ratchets in the hips there. Ratcheted knee. This is about that. Almost 45 there. The aforementioned ankle tilt, and nothing else for the feet. So he'll definitely look good standing there. And you can get some posability, but yeah. Can't have everything, I'm afraid. Now, one thing I will also mention is that these things are not exactly the cheapest things you can find. These are, well, if you're going by Cybertron prices, they're about where they would be at this point in time. Because this is effectively a leader class size. So there's something you're going to have to budget in, I'm afraid. There's no way around that. But still, at least you're getting something decent and hefty for what you're paying for. Now, should you actually get any of the Tobot series, that really depends on whether or not you're into this kind of aesthetic or not. Obviously, not everybody's going to be into this whole super robot thing, so that's going to be not for them. But since they do have it is a continuing series, you still wouldn't hurt to look on either eBay or Amazon to see if there's something that might be for you. Anyway, I am Deceptiwolf. This has been Tobot v Gigant V, and despite what you might be thinking, it can get bigger.